I was in a higher end department store today and happened to end up next to two teenage girls while shopping. One of the girls had picked out a pair of very expensive boots, and they were both fawning over them, discussing how gorgeous they were and how perfect they'd look with different outfits. The second girl must have looked at the price tag because she suddenly asks the boots girl if she's really going to spend that much money on a pair of shoes. The girl with the boots says something along the lines of, "It's fine. I have my dad's credit card, so I'm not paying," which instantly caught my attention because that's not her card. I've told my son multiple times he's never allowed to use my credit card without explicit permission, so I'm immediately interested to see how this girl thinks she's going to get away with what seems like fraud. However, I had split up from the girls at this point because they had wandered off to find something else to look at. About 20 minutes later, we end up at the same register with me standing directly behind them in line. I watch as her total climbs well over 4 digits. We're talking serious money here. The girl is about to swipe her card when I decide that I can't just stand there and let her get away with something like this. Someone has to parent this kid if no one else will. I lean forward and tell the cashier that the card isn't hers, but her father's, and I'm not sure she has permission to use it. Both girls immediately turn around and glare at me, giving me possibly the dirtiest look I've ever seen in my life. I swear this girl looked like she was going to throw a complete tantrum right there in the middle of the store. I don't think she had ever been told no before in her entire life. The girl quickly tells the cashier that her father gave her the card specifically to shop with because it's the store's credit card and it gives him reward points. But now that I've pointed out it wasn't actually her card, the cashier tells her she can't process the transaction. The girl frantically tries to show her ID to prove they have the same last name, as if that would somehow help her case. I tell her it's still fraud, regardless of the shared name. She gets defensive and insists it's not fraud because she has her father's permission, then tells me to mind my own business. I explain to her that it absolutely is my business when someone is doing something illegal right in front of me, and that she needs to pay with her own card or I'm calling the police. At this point, the girl is visibly upset, and people around us are starting to stare and glare at me like I'm the problem. The tension in the store is thick, and I can feel everyone's judgment. She eventually pulls out what I assume is her own debit card, pays for her expensive purchase, and leaves the store crying with her friend trailing behind her. The cashier gives me a cold look, clearly annoyed that I caused such a scene. When I get home and tell my husband what happened, expecting him to support my decision to speak up, he completely disagrees with me. He tells me I was wrong to get involved and that I embarrassed that girl for no good reason. Now, I'm second guessing myself. I thought I was doing the right thing by preventing what looked like credit card fraud, but everyone seems to think I overstepped. Maybe the girl really did have permission and I just made assumptions based on overhearing part of a conversation. So am I the asshole for telling the cashier that wasn't the girl's credit card?